Okay, streams. Hello there. Bear with me just 1 second. I hopped on here just a minute early to make sure I've got everything as should be here. So just bear with me a second. Okay. Now, let's get rid of that. I hope. Share screen. Okay. All right. LisaMarie here. Welcome to Wellness Wednesdays. I'm doing something a little bit different tonight because schedules just didn't quite line up. But thanks to technology, we can work around that. So today I am interviewing Nicole Nathan, and she's from our very own Hayward, and super proud of this gal. She has really just has been a huge influencer in Hayward in the wellness area, and I'm super proud of her. And she just did open up a new studio. It was built during COVID, but she is going to share with us how that experience was, and we're also going to talk to her about getting back into fitness coming out of COVID. Hopefully we are coming out of it. But anyway, so I'm going to share my screen. We did pre-record this last week, so here we go. Okay. All right. I am talking with Nicole Nathan from Hayward Fanatics. She's going to talk to us a little bit about how she got her start. She's in a new studio now. Nicole has become quite the influencer of Hayward. So kudos to you, my dear. You have so much to be proud of. And I want to talk a little bit about how hard is it? You know, we're just reeling off COVID, and I'm sure that has had, it's affected everyone, I'm sure, in some way or another. I do believe that in every chaotic event, there is always a blessing to be found somewhere. I know that's hard to come up with sometimes, but there is always there's always opportunity in chaos too. And I feel very strongly about that. So Nicole, just talk to us, hon. Talk to us.
You just brought up such a wonderful topic that I feel very strongly that I can speak to when you talk about just finding blessings in chaos. The COVID situation for fitness industry people, at least the brick and mortar people like myself, that was extremely difficult because we were basically being told, you know, you're not allowed to be open. And that, at least for me, I'm not very much into the virtual classes and things like that. Our people that come to our studio were really looking for that one-on-one and in-person experience. So that struggle was very real, and yet I found the blessing in disguise being that this building was actually being built at the time that COVID hit. And I was feeling the effects of the stress of trying to run my current business and be trying to transition everything and everyone over into this new space. And myself and my partner were doing much of the work. And I found the blessing of that downtime that we were having to be able to then focus here. And that was perfect. And in a way, it was very serendipitous in its timing, because I was then able to stop having to focus all of my attention at the current studio, and I could really focus on getting this place put together, get people excited about that transition, and just really be able to move forward feeling like we were really going to be able to do a good job once things could open back up, as opposed to that really like kind of stressful feeling chaos of like building a new house or building a new business while you're still trying to run your business. So I felt like that was almost God's way of just ensuring that our our business here could continue even in a better space and place than we could have had COVID maybe not happened. So
I love that, Nicole. That, I think in a lot of ways too, this has brought people back to their roots per se, back to the family oriented things to do and just, enjoying the reaps of your land and just,
yes,
you know what I mean? Back to family. We were almost forced to be to stay at home,
yes,
and
outside.
kids. Oh my God, yes, and outside, absolutely. And I needed that reprieve. We've had heartache through COVID as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
And a person can't change that. So instead of, wallowing in that, you got to look for the blessings. And I believe that has helped me spiritually to get back in touch with where I've been the last 40 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. It does help you kind of reground in a
Yeah,
way. I
absolutely.
solid ground again.
Yeah, I like that. I like getting into things. Now you do a lot of different things there. I mean, you're into dance, you're into yoga, you have exercise classes.
Yeah.
You are just a joy to watch, and I've been to her old gym. I've been to a gym just recently, since COVID, and it's kind of hard to get back into that.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
and I want you to give us some tips and advice as far as, people of the older generation like myself. It is very, very difficult to get back into an exercise routine. In fact, we are thinking of building a home gym. And I'm sure that many people are opting for that. What do you see?
That is I feel like that could be a multifaceted answer. So let me just start with however people are choosing to get back into being more active and maybe focusing on their health and fitness more. I really do believe that it has to be a very personal approach because again, the brick and mortar studio setting isn't really for everybody. But the really good news that comes out of that is that because it's not for everybody, then a lot of the industry has found better ways to help meet people where they're at. So whether it be home-based gyms, or even like the Peloton sort of situation where it's you're connected to a community, but it's not actually in person. And then two, like whether it's a studio versus a gym that's 24 hours and you're able to go, or really the getting out and maybe finding some new hobbies, whether it be outside or inside. I just feel like our health and fitness industry has done a really good job of trying to expand what that really means and what that could look like for people, because not everybody is really met in the same place. Not everybody loves group fitness. Not everybody loves to go out skiing on a cold day. Not everybody loves working out at home. So we've got to be able to work with everybody on those different levels and different mediums. And I think for anybody that's trying to get back into it right now, maybe my advice would be, if you are choosing to go in the route of connecting with either a local gym or a local studio where it is more in person, reach out to those people who are the managers or the owners and really ask those questions that might be concerning you. I get a lot of emails and phone calls from people just asking, like, what are your class sizes like right now? What are the classes that are maybe too full, where I'm really not that comfortable showing up to a class where it's 15 people and they already all know what they're doing, and whether or not people are masking or not, what's your masking policy, things like that. I appreciate that from my perspective, because then I can hopefully help people feel more empowered to be able to find classes and times of the day that work for them, and to know that they have some say right, in what their experience is going to be like. So
Absolutely. And I think that you nailed that, because if somebody is not comfortable within whatever the situation is, yeah, just pick up the phone and call, because that makes it even harder to
Yeah.
get back into it.
Yeah.
Um,
And so much, I feel there's so much of the intimidation factor that plays into that. People tell me all the time, I would come to your studio if you had classes for older people. So in their mind, they've already determined that there aren't older people that come to the studio, which isn't true. So it's like the intimidation of a fear thing that they don't even realize isn't really a reality. So just to be able to talk with people and be able to say, like, you know what, if you're looking for more beginner classes, here's where I would steer you. Would love to have you try it out. Almost all gyms are going to offer you some sort of free week or free class or free trial. I think that that's huge. So yeah, I just would really encourage people, if they're going to get started that way, don't hesitate to like ask those good questions that might be affecting your decision to start. And of course that could also expand into the like, well, what if I'm interested in starting my own home gym? Where would you start? um, Obviously reaching out to any sort of health professional or fitness professional and asking people, like, what would you do if you were going to set up something in your home? What sort of programs are out there, and what sort of equipment would I be looking for based on my goals? And those people are probably going to give you free advice, because our whole goal is to help people be healthy wherever it's happening, whether it's in their business or in your home or outside in nature, wherever it is. That's our job. So
Absolutely. I love that. In fact, I'd be calling you, girl. I will be calling you. Yeah, we are very serious about starting a home gym here, and I'm really interested in what kind of matting I should have, and things like that, and how many things can we build on one of those main bars, the pull-ups, the chin-ups, the leg raise, all that stuff. How can we utilize?
and those are the questions where if someone were to come to me and ask that, or Lisa, if you're saying like, I'm really wondering, I would start off with, well, what are your goals, or what do you envision in this space? Because I had to ask myself that when I was building this space, and so I'm looking at it from a larger scale, but I would also be able to help people look at it on a smaller scale based on, what kind of activity are you going to be doing in that room? Are you going to utilize other types of equipment like treadmills, cardio, strength training? Or are you really looking for like an all-in-one thing? So there's all of those sorts of questions that maybe a professional might be able to help you determine, based on what kind of goals and what your envision would be of your space, to be able to say, okay, I would probably steer you then more towards this direction with flooring, or I'm dealing with sound. So people maybe don't realize that when you have an open basement, like sound can be a problem. I have a major echo, so you probably see like I have sound panels that I eventually had to install on my ceilings. So there's just all those extra things that people who are maybe in it could help those who are
Right.
and figure out.
Never even thought about stuff like that. Absolutely. You got to have the right acoustic, so it sounds good. That is so cool. And you, I definitely consider to be an expert. And I think if you have any questions like this on getting back into shape again, health and wellness is a huge, huge part of our life. We need to take that a little more seriously. More so now, I think it'd be for me, because I'm 60 now.
Um,
And
you
you,
don't even look 60.
oh, whatever. Thank you, Nicole. Anyway, but it's very important for me to get back into shape, and I'm sure we all have a little COVID, but a COVID butt, I mean, um,
Little visual.
yeah, a little extra 20 pounds here. That, oh my goodness,
But
seriously.
well, and I find that people are really open with their and honest about their experience over the last 2 years. And you kind of mentioned it earlier. We've all kind of suffered in some way. whether it's having lost somebody or lost our business or the time that we maybe felt we lost, or however you can look at that. There was some loss and we're all kind of reeling from that. And I do agree that probably more so now than ever, people have to really maybe take a step back and realize that taking care of ourselves is so important. And if we haven't been doing that, or if we haven't, maybe we've lost touch of it, you know, your mental health, your physical health, they have to be a priority, because when they haven't been, we end up with this lost feeling. So I do feel like it's gotta eventually make its way back to some positivity, movement, doing things that make your mind feel good, and so that you feel good. Because when you're happy and healthy, everybody's happy and healthy around you. So
You are such a rock star. I love it. We just are doing this. We didn't even
no,
prepare. That's how she is a rock star. But I love her so much. She's just the sweetest person, and I'll tell you what, she knows her business.
ooh,
Do
wow. Thank
you do? I'm very impressed with you, Nicole. Nicole Nathan. And why don't you give your little plug here? That'd be great.
Sure. Well, so the studio itself is called Hayward Fitness Fanatics and Hayward Dance Experience. So the full title really just means that we are doing group fitness, yoga, personal training, and dance instruction for all ages, all people. I'm wearing my dance shirt today because I have little kids that come in on Wednesdays, and so we teach ballet and jazz and hip hop and tap and modern and all kinds of different styles of dance, not just to little kiddos, but to adults too. And so if somebody's ever wanted to do dance in their life, or maybe you're a former dancer that misses it, we love having people come in for that. And then our group fitness ranges from everything from like Zumba and step aerobics all the way into your like traditional boot camps and strength training classes and core building classes. And we're a huge mecca for the yoga community here, which I'm very grateful to be part of. Yoga has become very mainstream in our country, and it's a fabulous way for people to have that mental, physical, spiritual health covered all in one. And so yeah, we're kind of the all movement studio. And we're located in Hayward. I've been a Hayward kid. I grew up here. I went to school in Minneapolis, and I knew I wanted to move home and build this community. I did not know I was going to be building a building, literally. So, but that again, serendipity. Good things come to those who have a dream. And yeah, if you just work hard and stick with it. I appreciate you saying that. I know my business. I have to admit, you know, growing up, I never expected to own a business, and it's very rewarding. You learn so much along the way. And of course, you make all kinds of mistakes. So I know I made plenty of my own.
That's
Uh,
how we grow. That's how we grow.
so I'm very thankful that I can say that, yeah, the business is becoming more and more rewarding as I grow and learn through it.
That's awesome, Nicole. I'm so super happy for you. And I'm going to end that with that. You are just a beautiful person. And I'm going to stop the recording, and then I want to still chat with you a little bit if you have time. So thank you so much, Nicole Nathan, Hayward Fanatics and Dance Experience, Hayward, Wisconsin. Reach out. From I will get a link from from you, and then I will post it after this airs, okay?
Thank you so, so much.
You're welcome, Nicole. And I'm just going to end this. So thanks for whoever was watching. Appreciate you so, so much. Okay, that was our interview. Nicole, she is fabulous. I just really, really respect her. And what a speaker. I mean, she's got no issues about getting in front of a camera. She just does a wonderful job. And I am going to leave her website link in the comments after I'm done here. So any questions, reach out to her, reach out to me. Fitness, Wellness Wednesday. We just gotta, it's a huge part of our life. And you can have all the money in the world. If you ain't got your health, you're going to have issues. Just saying. So, all right. Thanks so much for watching. I'm out of here. See you next week.